Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Good morning and welcome to the lecture series Introduction to Interaction Design. In the previous session, we discussed scenarios and personas, how they help in identifying the goals and also understanding the user better so that designers can prepare better final output and a better experience for them. So, in today's session, we will see design and prototyping, that how what are the steps for design and prototyping. So, now we are moving from in this double diamond technique to the next diamond. So, we have spent a bit of time on the previous diamond and now we are coming to this phase of the diamond, now where the problem has been identified and it has been defined. So, now how do we develop and deliver further? So, there are several steps involved in the prototyping procedure. So, prototyping is required because we want to test out first before we come up with the final design. So, we can test it for some potential problems or some challenges. So, the first step here is ideation. So, ideation is an activity, a brainstorming activity which helps us generate many potential solutions. So, we will discuss all of these in detail in the upcoming slides as well. The next is the mood board. So, mood board is like a collage of ideas, it could be colors, textures or other inspirations which help set the mood for our design. The next is sketching. So, sketching is the primary activity wherein we make illustrations or certain quick sketches. So, it is a very simple exercise which saves our time and also helps us generate a lot of ideas. Information architecture can be understood like a hierarchy of how the architecture of our design. So, for example, if we are designing an application, a mobile application, then what will be the architecture of it? So, how will the user access it and what are the steps that they will be taking? So, next is low fidelity prototype. So, once we are done with the previous steps, we start putting all this information into a low fidelity prototype, which is a very basic and low cost solution or a model. So, which can be on paper, cardboard or any such similar products. So, then testing and feedback is the next step where we recruit certain participants and we see generate scenarios to see that what is their feedback. If there are any improvements or any problems that were found, so then we incorporate the in the next stage, which is the iteration stage where we refine the design. And finally, we prepare the high fidelity prototype which almost resembles the real mobile application, for example. And after the high fidelity prototype stage, we again conduct the user study because there might be some other gaps as well. So, once that is addressed, then the final design is ready. So, we can see this is the prototyping model. Here we can see we started from the data. So, of course, I am not mentioning the data because we have discussed that in the previous lectures, that how do we gather data, how do we analyze data. So, we are now taking that data forward to utilize into our prototype. So, once we take the data, then we go into the ideation stage, which is which I mentioned, which was the brainstorming stage, and then from there we go to the mood board stage. So, where now we will collect inspiration for our work. then we will start putting it into the form of the sketch, and then we will design the information architecture. From there we go to the low fidelity prototyping, paper modeling, or cardboard, or something simple, and then testing with the participants. And now this cycle is complete, but if we want, we may go again back into the cycle one more time. If the designer themselves feel that we need to address one aspect one more time, when the satisfaction has been achieved, then we go on to the high fidelity prototyping stage, and then the final user testing is conducted, which will tell us about if there are still any more gaps remaining. If not, then we can go to the development stage. So, the ideation stage has certain techniques that how do we ideate. Now, brainstorming is just one of the techniques, but there are several other techniques that help the researcher, the designer come up with a number of ideas, which later we will see that which one is working in the most ideal manner and which we should take forward. So, first is the mind map. So, mind map is a graphical technique. So, we can see here, like if this is the problem, then this is in the middle of the page. So, we write the problem in the middle of the page, and then we write the solution and ideas that may come to the mind on the same page. So, it is like we are branching out into what can be the possible solutions, and then we connect those together with the help of connectors and then also nodes. So, it is similar to say maybe a map of a city. So, where we have a one central business district, and then there are certain other areas, smaller pockets which are connected to it. So, similarly this is the mind map for the problem that we need to find the solution for. The next technique is brainstorming. So, brainstorming is activity that one can use in a small group or a large group, and what is the beauty of this particular method is that all types of opinions are welcome. So, here there is no type of pulling someone down or laughing at some idea, because every idea is considered to be important and every idea is welcome. So, this is a nice safe space, a safe activity where even the craziest of ideas is welcome, and people do not shy away from participating in this activity. Now, next is brain writing. So, brain writing is also quite similar to the brainstorming activity. So, here the participants write down their ideas on the paper, and then after a few minutes they pass this paper to the other participant. Then that participant will elaborate, they will write something in connection with the previous idea, and then the same paper will go to the next participant, and so on. So, after a few minutes this paper is collected, and then this paper is then posted for a discussion, because now everybody can see that all the different ideas that were generated from the brain of all the people who were present in that room. Now, storyboarding can help bring a situation to life. So, it can show what happens over time and explore the dynamics of the situation. So, we can use storyboarding technique to empathize with people better and to also understand their lives a little better. So, it is like putting the story together on a board. So, we can draw out these stories. So, in the past few lectures also, we saw that how stories communicate the information in a very, very efficient manner, and people are able to memorize them, because story is something that we have been listening to since we were children from our grandmothers, and then it is a nice way to retain in our memory. So, when we put down somebody's story, so their pain points are expressed, and we can then actually empathize that at this stage what were the challenges, at the next stage what happened, how the people treated him, or whatever the case may be. So, storyboarding is a visual representation of the particular participant or the particular problem that we are dealing with. Now, provocation is a lateral thinking technique which challenges the status quo and allows us to explore new realities in an extreme degree. So, lateral thinking distances itself from the classic method from problem solving, where we work out the solution step by step, but in this particular method we may not follow the step by step steps of problem solving, but we may deviate from it, and we may find inspiration from a very unknown source altogether. So, now mood board is like I said, it is a visual representation, it is a collage of different images. So, we can take inspiration. Now a very simple inspiration can be from a magazine or from some newspaper, some article. We can go on the web and get some pictures. So, we can put up some it in the hierarchy of colors or textures. So, mood board helps us to communicate that what will be the mood of our product. So, it helps us set the mood. So, whether it will be enthusiastic, whether it is, say, if it is regarding a meditation or some kind of similar technique, then maybe we want to represent calmness, then we will use certain colors. If we want something to be maybe say adventure sports, then it will have more energy, it will have more enthusiasm. So, what colors, what textures will help in doing so. So, that is important, and this serves as a source of inspiration for the designers to come up with an atmosphere which is cohesive. So, something which something where we do not have different moods for the same idea, but everything needs to come together. So, even the font style, if it is calm, then what kind of font we will use. So, even those details will be important here. So, this provides a visual interest, it also sets the mood, then it helps in collaboration. Also, when the client comes over and we are communicating with them that what is it that we are putting together after hearing their requirements. So, it also helps us to communicate with them. So, they get to see the direction in which we are moving forward, and so also at the same time it has to be, like I said, visually consistent. So, it cannot have inconsistent elements. Now, sketching is the process of creating rough illustrations, sketches, ideas. So, this is also a visual representation, and at this stage we are looking for several ideas. So, for example, if I want to design say spectacles, so then I will come up with many different designs of spectacles. They may be round, they may be square, they may be triangular, they may be rectangle, the it may be without the frame, it may be with the frame, thick frame, thin frame. So, all of those ideas I will generate with the help of sketching exercise, and then of course, it is a different process altogether, but then from there maybe I will select a final design of the spectacle. So, similarly here also we start with designing lot of ideas, ideas that we are also generating from the mood board and the previous techniques that we have used, and it helps us in visual thinking, because when we are thinking for a solution, then just words will not be enough, but we need to put it on paper, or it could also be a digital medium. At the same time, it also is a very quick exercise. So, sketching is very fast and it will not take much time, rather than going to the computer and designing it and then demolishing the whole design. The sketching activity is very quick and fast. And also sketching helps us to document the whole procedure of our problem. So, how we started and how have we taken it forward and where have we reached. So, this whole process can also be documented in a very nice manner. So, once we have our sketching done, so we can start designing our information architecture. So, just like any building has a certain architecture, so we design that where will we have the door, from where it will be connected to the next room, then where will be the kitchen, where will be the bathroom. So, similarly in a digital space, so we will also design this information architecture with the hierarchy of the requirements. So, once the user lands onto our say mobile application, how will he navigate? So, how will he move around? What are the important steps? What are the important actions that he will need to take over some other actions? So, it is a structural design. We can think of it as a structural design and an organizational way of putting the information together. So, it helps us to communicate and put together the information so that we can categorize it, so that it is logical, intuitive, and also it is user centered. So, once we are done with our information architecture, then we come on to our low fidelity prototype. So, low fidelity prototype, we can see some examples here on the screen that they can be made with the help of sketching on paper, pencil, or a tablet or similar digital field. It can also be done on a template. So, there are several templates that are available where the user has the flexibility of moving the things around. So, it involves using basic tools and materials to quickly and inexpensively visualize the design concepts without focusing on the details. So, right now at this stage we are just putting all our information that we have created in the information architecture stage, and we are not worried about say details that how will the button be clicked, what is the exact color of the button. So, we are just organizing the information in this space. So, the main purpose of low fidelity prototype is to come up with getting feedback, validating the ideas, and also to explore other designs before we start working on the final development, because a significant amount of time and money goes into the final design product. So, for testing and feedback, this is a very crucial component when it comes to the design process, and it helps us evaluate and refine the design solutions. So, here we recruit participants, and then like you can see in the image here that the cards or the template of the mobile application is being placed in front of the participant. So, now it's like a little act that we are going to work on. So, wherein the landing page or the first page of the website or the application is presented to the participant, and then he is given a certain task. So, a scenario is created that, for example, you are booking a vacation. So, how will you go about booking the vacation on this application? So, the user, the participant will say, okay, I will press this button. So, then we present him or her with the screen that will emerge once that button is pressed, and so on. So, we will see that how easily is the user able to access or book his tickets, or what are the challenges that he is facing. So, we keep on noting them down while the user is performing this test with us. So, we can also observe while this activity is going on that maybe this route is much larger, maybe this route needs to be shortened. So, how can we do that? So, all of these valuable insights is what the user testing provides to us. So, once we have the feedback from the user testing, and we have noted down the problems that the user may have encountered, or certain routes that were long, from our own observation. So, now we will create a high fidelity prototype. So, high fidelity prototype is almost like what the real application will look like. So, now we have techniques, softwares like Figma and many others, wherein we can actually create a demo application that if we press, how will we go to the next page, or how do we enter our name and then click OK, and what happens next. So, we can see that almost like a real final developed product. So, it provides the user a more detailed experience, a more immersive experience, because the user feels like he or she is actually using the final prototype or final design. Now, we use Sketch or Adobe XD or Figma, which is a collaborative tool. So, some of these softwares are used to design these high fidelity prototypes. So many steps, like we have seen that there is an exhaustive list of steps. So, sometimes user testing may be overlooked, but user testing and feedback, the final one after the high fidelity prototype, is something that one should not miss. So, it is crucial to the performance and success of final application, and it is something that we should be doing throughout the process. So, there is no such rule that only once this step is done we can conduct a user testing. Whenever the designer may feel that I need to get this assessed or checked, so at that time the user testing can be conducted. So, overall the user testing process helps us eliminate any kinds of problems or any kind of bugs that there may be in the system, and also to optimize the user experience for the application. So, this brings us to the end of today's session, and in the next session we will continue to take today's discussion forward, and we will see with the help of a case study that how all of these steps, when they are put together, how does it appear. So, I will see you in the next class. Thanks and bye.